Hey guys, welcome back to the canteen. It's Stephanie, your friendly neighborhood barkeep. Please remember you haven't subscribed. Subscribe. Hit that bell so you know when I upload more content. Smash that like button. When you hit the like button, you will get notifications. And share away here. We share away here for love of Star Wars. Here's the upcoming video. So here's Steele Saunders attacking the Admiral Akbar actor and basically calling the character a meme. Here's Digital Spy basically talking about Tim Rose's comments, and here's Steele Saunders himself looking like he's, I think, probably giving Ryan Johnson fellatio. I don't know. I mean, he looks like he's on his knees, mouth agape, fondling something. This guy, and it's not just him. It's the rest of them. The disrespect the original trilogy actors are getting because they're older, and because it's not. Well, they're disgusting. Hey guys, it's Steph. Welcome back to the cantina. Please remember to pull up a chair, pull up a bar stool, order a drink, whatever, and sit down, relax. Talk a little bit about the bad treatment of the actors in the Star Wars movies. We all know, because we've all read and seen Mark Hamill complain about how he's been treated, how Luke Skywalker, the heart and soul of Star Wars, was sort of destroyed by Kathleen Kennedy's, wrecking ball of SJW-ness, and that's about what it was. But they didn't stop with emasculating Luke and emasculating Han. At Star Wars Celebration, the voice actor for Admiral Akbar, who'd been doing Akbar's voice for, all through the Clone Wars, and I think in other places besides the movies, he expressed his disdain and dismay for his character, the voice that he did, the character of Admiral Akbar, his character being overshadowed by someone no one knew, Vice Admiral Holdo, Vice Admiral Gender Studies, Vice Admiral Purple Hair, just basically the giant queen bitch. And I'm not saying that in a complimentary manner. Women who tend to act like that don't really make a good impression on people. Okay, and she did not. I don't really know any real Star Wars fans that liked the unfriendly, bizarre C word, okay? And basically, she was in there for an LGBTQ insert because Ryan Johnson was insisting on representation where Star Wars didn't need it, which, we can go on. How much does Ryan Johnson know about Star Wars? And it's like, man, a whole hell of a lot. When you put your bullshit in front of storytelling and your bullshit takes over, the fans are going to walk away, and that's what's happening. And in fact, I'm going to say this right now. I think between Kyle Ron and Vice Admiral Gender Studies, I really think the two most egregious characters in Star Wars history are probably those two. Now, I know a lot of people like Adam Driver. He's a good actor. He might be. His character sucks. His character had a split second where he could have been really scary, really menacing, and kind of on par with Darth Vader, but sorry. Okay, that didn't happen, did it? What we got is spoiled rotten, patricidal, genocidal puke. Right? And that's fact. Then, and we all know about Vice Admiral Gender Studies. So anyway, Tom Kane at Star Wars Celebration brought it up and said, basically, this woman shows up, she'd never been in the shows before, and takes, my characters, that would have been his character arc away. Yeah. I mean, he was, he's right. So let's go to Tim Rose, the guy that actually was in the costume and had played Akbar. Akbar in TLJ and in other places. In fact, I think he played him in Return of the Jedi. I think. I'll have to look that up. And I will put an addendum to this if he didn't. Here's the deal. They, at the end of it, when his, character was blown out of the ship and put in a box, they wanted him to come back out and hold up a Millennium Falcon-like sign and yell, do you remember the meme now? It's become a meme because it's so funny. It's a trap. They wanted him to come out and do that, and they all laughed. They basically mocked the end of this legacy character. Now, he's a minor character. Well, guess what? Luke Skywalker wasn't, and you did the same fucking thing to him with the blue milk scene, with throwing the lightsaber over his shoulder. You did the same thing with Harrison Ford and Han Solo by destroying his character arc. You did the same thing with Leia turning into a bitter, dried up hag. Okay? He cried. Tim Rose cried. Now we got these shells like Adam Garcia and Steel Thondarth mocking this guy who played a legacy character, basically saying the character was nothing but a meme. That's Steele Saunders, who is still trying to get his karma leveled out after Daisy killed Raylo to his face. We've got all that. We've got all these shills saying that shit. And it kind of makes you wonder. These people have, access to at least somebody at Lucasfilm. So why do they feel this way? It even goes back to my video earlier, a week ago, about ageism of the shills. Jason Ward from Making Star Wars Nutcase and his little friend, Pete Fletzer, mocking Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford and Billy D. Williams and George Lucas for being older. They're ageist. They're ageists. They really don't give two shits about Star Wars. And really, when you look at it, the way the actors have been treated, and I'm not talking about just Mark and Tim Rose and Tom Kane. I'm talking about Billy D. Williams. I'm talking about Harrison Ford. It really kind of makes you wonder if anybody at Lucasfilm has any idea of the magnitude of these guys' contribution to their lives, to our lives. They want to be so hip and new, and the fact that they disregard humanity because of age, And I'm sure these people are all pro-abortion, pro-choice. So basically, life is only worthy if they deem it, whether it be an infant in the womb or somebody over the age of 60. Okay, I can say this for these clowns: Jason Ward, Pete Fletzer, Theo Thondarth, and Adam Garcia. They're ageists. They're ageists. Jason Ward's wife is a male-bashing, toxic, feminist cow. Then you've got Geek Girl Diva, who's a male-bashing, toxic, feminist cow, who, decides we all need to know that she bought herself a 24-karat dildo. And if you've ever seen her, often laments in public of why she can't find a boyfriend. Really? You can't? You can't find a boyfriend? Have you seen yourself in the mirror? You dried up hag? You weird blue-haired land whale? Yeah, I am calling them names. They deserve it. I don't like seeing disrespect of the legacy actors, the legacy characters. I'm gonna tell you something. My mom and dad were in their late 40s when they had me. My mom died when she was 90. We've got my father died in 1993. He died when he was 71. of a heart attack. But my mom lived for a good long time, and I plan on following her footsteps. When you look at the older people, we're losing the World War II generation. There are only, 5 Navajo code talkers left. All right? They helped us win the war in the Pacific. There are every year the honor flights that take World War II veterans to D.C. so they can actually see their memorial. They finally have one. It's harder and harder to get veterans because they're dying off at like 16,000 a day. All right. That's what I've heard. We had 16 million men in uniform between the years December of 1941 and 1946. There's a reason why they call them the greatest generation. I revere them, and they should be revered. And I'm not just talking about the guys that went to war, but the women that stayed home. Rosie the Riveter, like my mom. The women who built radios and radar, who helped build bombs and guns and fill ration packs for the guys, okay? The women who farmed so their husbands and sons and brothers could go out and fight the Nazis and the Imperial Japanese. They're the greatest generation for the simple reason there's an absolutely beautiful equality of work, all right? The women might have mostly stayed home, and we had the waves, the wax, and all and female Marines, women Marines, but most of the women stayed and worked in the factories, okay? I feel the same way about Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, Billy D. Williams, George Lucas as I do about my father's generation. See, these people are valuable. They gave us something nobody else could have. They basically, George Lucas with his vision, gave us this beautiful story about Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, the princess, Anakin Skywalker, Padme Amidala, Ben Kenobi, Yoda, and, Palpatine. It was a story about the struggle between good versus evil, the dark versus the light, and powerful. Gave us different ways of looking at technology. There are things that they did back in the 70s when they were making the first Star Wars that they still do to this day. The practical effects will never, ever, ever be topped. Some people say, well, it looks really old-fashioned. It's not, okay? There's a place for CGI, and it's to round things off, okay? But what George Lucas gave us, and he also, he was the guy behind CGI too. He gave us so much, the stories, the technology, the effects. He also found these actors, and the actors took his story and interpreted these stories. And instead of getting appreciated and being respected by Lucasfilm, by Disney, by Shills like Steele Saunders, and Jason, the ass kisser Ward and his cow of a wife, and the rest, including Pablo Hidalgo, people actually at Lucasfilm, they're degraded, they're emasculated, their characters are changed 180 because there's no way that these older actors are valuable to the story anymore. I don't know where Kathleen Kennedy's in her late 60s. What the fuck? Okay? I mean that. She's a senior citizen. That bitch is a senior citizen. Okay? Just want to tell you all that. Okay? She's in her late 60s, and she's, degrading and allowing, guys that gave us so much, like Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill, to be degraded. And that's wrong. Okay, that's all life has value. All life has meaning. All life has a purpose. The purpose of the young is to learn. The purpose for the older people is to teach us, to mentor us, to guide us on our way. The characters that Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Billy D. Williams played were not allowed those roles. They were thrown away. They were stomped on and thrown away. You don't matter anymore. Why don't you die? Which is basically the Lucasfilm mantra. And now we've got them going after so-called minor characters with their shills like Steele Saunders, attacking Tim Rose for being upset to the point he was crying when they were mocking him on the set of The Last Jedi. But I want to leave you guys with this. Look at what Rian Johnson did to Luke. Look at what he did to Leia. Does this really shock you at all that he would do that this would be allowed? Doesn't shock me. All right? The man has no appreciation for anybody, anything, no appreciation for humanity at all. He's a narcissist, and I think the shills are just as bad. But hey, when Disney's, waving red carpet attendance and actually chances to interview the actors and actresses from the movies, what else are you going to do? The mouse needs to be blown, right, Steele? This is Steph signing out. See you on the Galaxy. See you on the Cantina. Please remember to tip the Wookiee bartenders 20%. Remember, no fights in the Cantina. No gunfights. You take that shit outside. No droids, no bounty hunters, and no Raylos. See you on the Galaxy. Hey guys, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't. Remember to hit that bell for more content. Remember to hit the like button and share away. We share away for love Star Wars. And I'll see you around with more content coming up next. Stephanie, I'll see you on the Galaxy Scoundrel.